Hello everyone, I'm Drax. You're tuned in to Draxatron, and I'd like to welcome you to episode 13 of Let's Play The Outer Worlds. I'm glad you're here and chose to visit, and I hope that you'll enjoy today's adventure. Let's get into it, shall we? And last we had left off, we had delivered the chemicals to Phineas Wells, and we had also sent a scrambled tracking signal to Adjutant Sophia Akande, who contacted us shortly after we nicked the chemicals from the lab on Byzantium. But we also have one last thing that we need to do before we progress the main quest further. Now, as y'all can see, we've done a lot in our adventures so far, but there are still things yet to do. And right now, we are going to focus on dealing with Ellie's companion quest.
You have a message from Adjutant Sophia Akande.
Now, here we go.
I'm impressed, Captain. I almost expected you wouldn't go through with it. Unfortunately, Dr. Wells found a way to corrupt the signal before we could pinpoint his location. Still, it's only a matter of time before we find him. Come visit me in Byzantium. We need to have a talk about the future of this colony. Meet me in my office. I've authorized your ship at my personal landing pad.
Adjutant Akande has ended her call. Rather rudely, if I might say, considering she didn't sign off. Will there be anything else, Captain?
No, that's going to be it, Ada, but I'm with you. I don't particularly like her, but it is what it is, I suppose. Before we deal with Adjutant Akande, let's go take care of Ellie's quest.
We are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain.
And this time, we're going to take Ellie and not Vicar Max. Right. We need to go here. Now, Ellie does not have a positive relationship with her parents. Apparently, she's more rough around the edges. And Ellie chafes at the snobbery, apparently, of her mom and dad.
There's my parents' place. Smell that? Industrial grade cleaning solvent and desperation.
Oh, so it's not me this time. Whew.
Oh, this is certainly posh. They could give Versailles Palace a run for its money. Where are they? How am I dressed? Oh, yeah.
Marilyn, is that you?
Loss! We certainly didn't expect to see you like this. And I didn't expect you to renew your marriage contract. But we're all full of surprises today, aren't we? Speaking of surprises, you should meet my new friend. We've been running around the system for a while now, stirring up all sorts of trouble.
Now, see, Ellie wants you to go out of your way to be particularly crude. My problem is my character's not really that way, but we'll start out with hello and go from there.
Play the ruffian angle some more. You're supposed to help me make an impression. Anyway, you're probably wondering where I've been all this time.
Not exactly.
The last few years have been a bloody haze. You wouldn't believe the messes we've gotten ourselves into. Right? Yep, we're a pair of disgraceful lowlifes.
Marilyn, this really isn't the best time. Perhaps you should go.
You tell him. We'll stay as long as we like. And while we're at it, we'll drink your expensive hooch, wear our outside shoes all over your nice floors. Just a second. You had the floors redone with real Terran marble? Since when can you afford that?
That's what we've been trying to tell you, dear, but you must understand, we hadn't heard from you in ages.
We thought you were dead.
I'm not dead. I just never wanted to talk to you again.
I'm afraid the distinction was lost on us, darling.
We only did what any grieving parents in our position would do. We collected on your life insurance policy.
And the payouts have been rather, substantial.
You what?
What vulgar company you keep, Marilyn.
Well, now that I'm here, I guess you'll just have to report back that I'm very much alive and kicking.
It's not that simple. For one thing, we'd have to cut back on so many necessities. The neighbors would be sure to notice.
In other words, they'd have to give up some of the more excessive aspects of their extremely posh lifestyle, which would undoubtedly result in them being ousted from upper Byzantium society.
That's the other problem.
We had to explain your disappearance somehow.
We couldn't very well tell people you'd run off to become a miscreant, could we? Shh! Someone could hear you.
We concocted a story about Celeste Jollycurl designing a pair of 12-inch heels for you.
Oh my god.
One of a kind, naturally.
That led to your tragic death when you tripped and broke your neck.
It was quite the story. People were talking about it for weeks.
Not until I get some answers. Couldn't you have at least made up a better story? Something with pirates or raptidons? And what are you gonna do now that we're here?
Yes, about that. We were just about to ask you to, leave.
Quietly, if you don't mind. She hasn't changed a bit, I see.
That's it? You just want us to disappear now?
Marilyn, please.
Don't cause a scene.
Let's just get out of here, Captain. Fine. I'm gone. Forever this time.
Felix, you stayed surprisingly quiet throughout that entire exchange, my friend.
Let's talk outside. Can we talk?
Absolutely.
Can you believe those two? We'd hardly been there a minute and they turned us out like yesterday's garbage. I wanted them to get upset. I just thought it would play out differently. They'd both be sitting there watching one of their vapid aetherwave dramas, and then we'd walk in, Mother would drop her mock apple cider, and the glass would shatter all over their overpriced marble. Father would tear off his glasses and blink open-mouthed. Shh, I'm getting to the good part. I'd have a great one-liner in the tube. I was thinking either, the leather's fake but the scars are real, or, oops, did I just track awesome onto your rug? Yeah, I'm gonna use that one day. Now, getting back to my story. Father would throw his hands up, because this would be just like me, to come back and make a big scene. Then, Mother would do the old, "You had us worried sick." Her eyes would be red, and she'd have her fist in front of her mouth to stifle a sob. I'm not hurt. I'm outraged. Affronted, even. I just didn't want to get booted out of the house I grew up in like that. It's embarrassing, you know. And I've got a reputation to maintain. Hey, the last thing I want to do is sit around thinking about all this. I want to take action. I want to... Wait a second. What if I could get that money? I could open a new account, designate that account holder as a sole beneficiary. All the payouts would go to me. I'll make money without doing a thing. And I'll get to cut them off. As long as I don't develop a taste for Woolgonzola and bad legal dramas, that's fine by me. My policy is with the Greater Halcyon Insurance Group. They have an office in Byzantium. Maybe you could use some of your people skills to help me set up a dummy beneficiary account. If that doesn't work, I'm sure we can find one of their terminals and do it ourselves.
All right. Time to go find the Greater Halcyon Insurance Group. But let's put on our best for this particular task.
So, you're really running around with us now, huh?
Sure am. I'm a part of the crew now. Got my own bunk and everything.
You know, Felix, now that you're a real pirate, I should induct you into the Pirates' Code of Silence. All right.
Ooh, the Code of Silence. What's that?
It means you agree not to talk for a very long time.
Funny, considering that Ellie was the one that initiated the conversation. And even funnier, considering that I think Ellie and Felix both joined the crew around the same time. Maybe within a day or so of each other, at most, in-game time, but yeah. Alright, let's see here. The sole letter in this mailbox is addressed to the Greater Halcyon Insurance Group's satellite office in Fallbrook on the planet Monarch.
I guess we're going to Fallbrook.
Okay. Not open to the general public. Greater Halcyon Insurance Group. Appointments available at our satellite office. So, what are these people here doing? Nothing? Wine and diner.
It's better than nature.
Right. To Fallbrook we go.
If you stop in the engine room, would you ask Parvati to send Sam down to the bridge?
I think Sam spends enough time down here, Ada. You'll be alright for a little while.
We're now in orbit above Fallbrook, Captain.
let's find this insurance office. You know what, since we're in Fallbrook, I don't think I need to worry so much about my appearance. While I'm thinking about it, let me drop a few items off in here that I don't need anymore.
Said you docked 3 days ago?
This looks like a place. You ready to get my money or what?
Welcome to the offices of the Greater Halcyon Insurance Group, Halcyon's premier provider of life and disaster-related insurance. I'm obligated to inform you that our coverage does not extend to incidents deemed to result from negligence, criminal activity, or dullness of mind. So, what kind of insurance package can I interest you in? We're running a special on dismemberment policies. Buy one, get one half off. I remember that one. That's the young socialite who broke her neck, right?
Of course, no one remembers me for the marauders I've killed or the bits I've stolen. Typical.
That claim was airtight. Our best investigators couldn't find an exclusion for that one.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we interviewed the parents extensively. They had plenty of awkward childhood stories that illustrated their daughter's clumsiness and capriciousness.
Hey, those are entirely made up.
Furthermore, the claim spurred a whole line of fashion-related policies. It's become a very lucrative market. You can't, of course. Only Miss Fenhill can assign her beneficiaries. And she's dead. If we let every friend, relative, and acquaintance change a policy like that, people would do it all the time. Imagine the paperwork. Oh, you mean hypothetically? Well, hypothetically, you'd access the terminal in the back room that contains data on all our policies. And you'd, theoretically, add the beneficiary of your choice. But you wouldn't actually do that, of course. That would be fraud. I'm forbidden from accepting bribes, no matter how tempting. The employee handbook doesn't say anything about that. Very well. I'll need the name of the new beneficiary.
Ellie Fenhill?
If you say so. The payouts will flow exclusively into the new account at the start of the month. I hope Ms. Fenhill enjoys her newfound prosperity.
You really did it. Give these payouts a few years and I'll be rolling in it. I've never been prouder to stand back and watch someone else work. I'm just glad my folks aren't gonna live off that awful story they made up. Maybe now they'll have to go back to real jobs. Sure. You did my job, so here's your fee. Don't make it weird. Even you've got to be in it for the money now and then. Why else would you go through all this trouble? You sure? Because my kind of friends will pick your pocket clean while they're getting hammered with you. You don't have to get all mushy about it. Still, maybe you've got a point. Maybe it's good to watch someone's back now and then so that one day they watch yours. So, you just keep the money. One of us has to look out for your interests. It's nothing personal. It's just the closest thing I've got to a code. Anyway, Anyway, enough of the touchy-feelies, huh?
All right, that's enough of that. Now, before we go and see Adjutant Akande, there is one more quest on Byzantium that I want to get out of the way. And unfortunately, it involves dealing with a certain odious snob in the Estates District. I know, that really narrows it down. But this particular snob is a real toffee-nosed bird by the name of Hortense Inglesby. Y'all will remember her when we see her.
Some crew members are causing a disturbance on the ship.
Good for them. They're back there having target practice. As long as they don't puncture the hull, I think we'll be okay.
We are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain.
There she is, right there. Oh, look there, right there.
Oh, there. Oh, there. That's one right there. Can't you just see the stench of impropriety radiating off of him?
How splendid. Another rung leech wandering through the streets of Byzantium. Why, just this morning I thought to myself, as lovely as the gardens are, what they really need is more greasy vagrants frolicking through them. And here you are, frolicking. Admittedly. Now if only you could gracefully take a shower, preferably in whatever hovel you came from.
Honestly, what is the board thinking letting so many of your ilk into the city proper? It's madness. I earned my place here, just like everyone else. My grandfather was the CIO at Tile, you see.
Oh, that's nice.
I just told you. My grandfather made millions of bits as CIO, and I earned them from him. Of course it is. Wealth is the most visible, objective measure of success. And success isn't given to you, it's earned. My grandfather taught me that. If you have wealth, you're successful, and if you're successful, you must have earned it. Honestly, it's a simple concept.
Excessively simple in your case.
You're welcome. Now, do we have any further business, or are you just here for the repartee? What's wrong? It erodes the very pillars of our society. Merit, decorum, personal hygiene. This city is meant for us, the system's finest. We earned its luxuries. But now we are overrun with the unworthy and the ungrateful, and this early retirement nonsense is making it even worse.
Okay, here we go.
The worst thing to happen to Halcyon. A contest that gives even the lowliest and most inefficient workers a chance to live in Byzantium. By simply winning a lottery, those early retirees get an exclusive district of Byzantium to themselves. No one else is even allowed to go there. Tell me, how is that fair? Oh, by the law. I mean the principle of it, not the mechanics. It's not right. I deserve to see any district I please. Why, if it weren't guarded, I'd... You know, you look like you've been shot at before. What say I hire you to investigate this travesty, and you get paid to do so?
She ain't wrong, boss. We do got a knack for getting shot at.
Yes. Listen to your... What is that person's job exactly? Are they your secretary? Personal masseuse? Or do you just keep them around as a mobile armrest? Well, it doesn't matter. What's important is that you think this is a fabulous arrangement, and you'd be thrilled to lend me your services. Aren't you? Fantastic. Consider yourself employed, Vagrant. I hear the chosen retirees all enter the retirement district via the port landing pad, but it's completely locked down. You'd never get in that way. Unless, of course, you had a wealthy, beautiful benefactor of impeccable social pedigree, which you do. How fortunate for you. These codes will get you past the lockdown. Oh, and don't worry about subtlety. I don't care how you deal with security, just correct this injustice at all costs.
If ever there was a contest for who could probably be the most vapid bitch in all of Halcyon, this woman right here would be a leading contender. Yes. Now, let me go in here and flag this. Well, crap. Go back to the landing pad. Oh, we're going in the wrong direction.
That's the last of them.
Finally. Is it just me, or are we getting more and more retirees lately?
Not just you. Felt like a damn factory worker these last few months. Oh well. Nothing a few drinks won't cure. Come on, let's go hit up Bijou's.
Can't. They're closed. Someone saw a sprat in there.
Bijou's too? Damn. What's this city coming to?
Alright, clear off. And, while we're poking around, let's see. Yeah, here we go.
Welcome to the Halcyon Holdings Corporation Early Retirement Center. You, the lucky few, have been selected to spend the rest of your days living the high life in your own private district in Byzantium. When you arrive, you'll be whisked away to your very own luxury penthouse, furnished exclusively by 24/7 Furniture's deluxe Falscowood collection. Some assembly required. 24/7 Furniture is not responsible for any injury, psychological damage, or divorce litigations that occur during the assembly process. After you get settled in, you'll have the chance to explore your new home. Why not go for a bite at one of our many restaurants, like CNP's Blazing Borscht Barbecue or Rizzo's All-You-Can-Crunch Cereal Buffet? Or maybe you'd like to head to the bar and enjoy an ice-cold Zero G Brew by Spacer's Choice. Zero G Brew, an ale that's good for what ails you, although in the early retirement district, nothing will. All this and more will be complimentary for the entirety of your stay, courtesy of the Halcyon Holdings Corporation. You won't have to spend a bit. So relax, grab a refreshment from one of our vending machines, and enjoy our specially constructed welcome center. While you're here, be sure to check out the displays for some fun facts about the early retirement program and selection process. Then, once you're ready, enter the elevator at the end of the hall and leave your troubles behind. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. Today is the first day of your early retirement. Congratulations. Welcome to the Halcyon Holdings Corporation
enough of that.
Early Retirement Center. You, the lucky...
Early retirement... Oh, wait a minute. Let's do this sequentially. Early retirement fun fact number 1. You're special. Each month, hundreds of thousands of workers apply to the early retirement program from across the Halcyon system. That doesn't just include workers on Terra 2, but those who live on the Groundbreaker or Hephaestus as well. Even after weeding out undesirable or unqualified candidates, only 2.3% of these entrants are selected for early retirement. I sure hope you bragged to your neighbors before you left. Way to overcome the odds, champ.
Selected to spend the rest of your days.
Early retirement fun fact number 2. Did you know the early retirement selection system is the most rigorous, cutting-edge lottery system in the entire galaxy? Here's how it works. Each candidate's name is printed on a plastic ball. The plastic ball is placed in an advanced turbo encabulator with thousands of others. A team of advanced auto mechanicals operate a complex series of pulleys at random. The balls are funneled through the turbo encabulator into an inserositer tube. They are then launched at a specially designed accuracy matrix. The first ball that aligns with the center of the accuracy matrix is the winner for the day. By using this method, the Halcyon Holdings Corporation ensures that all early retirees are selected with complete impartiality and minimal collateral damage.
Living the high life in your own...
Early retirement fun fact number 3. We're sure that all of you had a wonderful time completing your early retirement application forms, but we know that even something like paperwork can get a little old after 87 pages. Fortunately, we're pleased to inform you that your hard work was all worth it. By knowing details like your shoe size, blood type, and dental history, we can properly customize your early retirement just for you. Every detail will be tweaked and adjusted to fit your unique needs, just like how Hammersmith weapons are built to fit each customer's personal style of combat. What you want, Hammersmith.
Private district in Byzantium.
Early retirement fun fact number 4. The Early Retirement Center is the safest place in the entire system. Not a single crime has been committed within its walls since its construction. Wow. This is all thanks to the hard work of the men and women in black and white, Universal Defense Logistics. Each and every day, UDL security protects the citizens of Byzantium, shielding them from harm. No dissidents run wild under their watch. So rest easy, early retirees. You're under the watchful eye of UDL security. Whether you're out and about or relaxing at home, UDL is watching you.
When you arrive, you'll be...
Early retirement fun fact number 5. Here in Byzantium, auto mechanicals will make your life cleaner, easier, and more efficient. Just as they do in the rest of the city, teams of auto mechanicals regularly sweep through the streets of the early retirement district to give it that classic Byzantium sheen. But that's not all. They'll attend to your personal needs as well. Want to order a drink? They'll bring one right to your table. Make a mess in your new penthouse? They'll clean it up for you. Why, they'll even carry your luggage, once it has been cleaned by security and released from our customs warehouse, of course. So if you see 700 pounds of steel lumbering towards you, don't panic. You probably just dropped one of your Happy Dale Farms woolly curds. Whoops! Don't worry, I'm sure it's still good.
Whisked away to your very...
Early retirement fun fact number 6. The early retirement program is the personal brainchild of Minister of Earth Aloysius Clark, endorsed by Chairman Charles Rockwell. Minister Clark and Chairman Rockwell share a vision that every worker in Halcyon has a fair chance to experience the beauty and luxury of Byzantium. So before you step onto that elevator and embrace your retirement, remember to say, "Thank you, Minister Clark. You wouldn't be here without him." But knowing the recent relationship between Clark and Rockwell, I'm fairly certain that that is a lie. Rockwell concocted this whole scheme and just slapped Clark's name on it so that he'd share in whatever blame there is for anything that goes wrong. Or receive all the blame, rather, I should say. I did not know they sold these here, but I will pick it up. I'll just buy all that stuff.
24/7 Furniture's deluxe Fosco
There we go.
collection. Some assembly required. 24/7 Furniture is not responsible for any injuries, psychological damage, or divorce litigations that occur during the assembly process.
I was going to say earlier, the way they describe that 24/7 furniture assembly process makes it sound like trying to put together a more elaborate piece of furniture that you bought at,
like CNP's Blazing Horse Barbecue, or
oh shoot, I
Rizzo's
forgot,
Wellington
IKEA.
Crunch Cereal Buffet. Or maybe
I've assembled a few pieces from IKEA, and they can be notoriously
Zero G
complicated
Brew
if you're
by
not
Spacer's
careful.
Choice. Zero G Brew.
Welcome to the HHC Early Retirement Center. Before beginning your new life in Byzantium, our safety regulations require you to consent to the following. You, hereinafter referred to as the employee, consent to the rules and regulations of the Halcyon Holdings Corporation Early Retirement Center, hereinafter referred to as the Center. The employee confirms that they have read and understand the rules of the Center as written in Article 3, Section 5, Clause 27 of the Early Retirement Welcome Packet. The employee also confirms that they received this packet en route to the Center. In the unlikely event of injury, death, or the loss of personal items, the employee assumes all liability for the incident. In other words, nobody but you's responsible if you fuck up. The Halcyon Holdings Corporation and its subsidiaries bear no responsibility for the incident and offer no compensation. Should the center recover any lost or stolen goods, the employee must retrieve them within 48 hours or their goods will be forfeit. If the employee is having second thoughts about living out the rest of their lives in unparalleled luxury, then they may exit this terminal and return to the center's landing bay. There, the employee may turn in their winning early retirement ticket and await the next outbound transport. Don't worry, that ticket won't go to waste. It will be given to another deserving worker to keep the center's inbound population at ideal levels. Otherwise, if the employee is ready to begin the final leg of their early retirement journey and enjoy all the center has to offer, please select I consent. Well, I'm not early retiring, but I consent anyway. Congratulations! You just made the first step on the greatest journey of your life. Now please proceed to the elevator. Your early retirement awaits.
All this and more will be complimentary for the entirety of your stay, courtesy of the Halcyon Holdings Corporation. You won't have to spend a bit. So relax.
Now, for those of you that don't already see where this is going, notice how the lavish decor quickly degrades to something far more basic, and then to something far rougher. Nothing in Halcyon is free, and unfortunately, as fantastic as the early retirement program sounds, it is a colossal lie. Does this look like luxurious retirement to you? Nope. How about this? Nope.
Hey, wait a second. This ain't your retirement program.
No, Felix, it is not.
Processing data. Alert. Performing.
Oh, sorry, janitor robot.
Here they come!
Damn it, reload. Well, there you have it, folks. That is the... Oh, dear God. Here we go. All right.
How it's done. That's one down.
Not a marvel what things humans can bring to life, all for the sake of destruction.
Thanks, boss. Been wanting to break something ever since we got here.
Well, I'd say we broke plenty. And yes, like I was saying, the early retirement program is a farce. Surprise. But then, you still have people who actually believe that the board has their best interests in mind, and that they would never hurt the people of Halcyon. But this whole early retirement farce, scheme, lie, whatever you want to call it, there's plenty of adjectives, is simply a way to thin the population and reduce resource consumption. That's part of the reason why they talk about keeping the population in the early retirement district at ideal levels. is by keeping a consistent flow of lower tier, less quote unquote important people coming into the district. They continue to thin out the lesser beings and reduce the amount of food, medicine, etc. that's being used on them. To T&L customer service, I would like to formally request a refund on my new T&L shock cannon. You advertised it as the, quote, most reliable tool for disabling rude or disobedient auto mechanicals, end quote. But if you load it with an energy cell that is covered in your own blood, it misfires. I've used T&L weapons exclusively for 7 years, but if this matter is not resolved, then you'll have lost another customer. You will also have lost another customer if I die, so you'd better hope I can get this blood back into my body. Jesus. Ah, you poor bastard. I'll take it. But yep, they use the farce of early retirement to thin the population and keep resource consumption lower. This is obviously one of the more recent desperate measures that Chairman Rockwell has instituted to try and slow the gradual collapse of Halcyon, which we saw mentioned in that presentation that we watched in the chairman's office. And I suppose maybe possibly early retirement's just not doing it good enough, so now they're moving on to the next phase, which is we're just going to freeze everybody that we don't have to have or that's, you know, not of high enough social standing, and bring you out of cryogenics when we need you, and then when we're done needing you, we'll put you back into cryogenics until we need you again. It sounds obscene, but it is, and sadly, that's just the way it is, I guess. Alright, automech status active, maintenance, exit status sealed. Note, due to the nature of their assignment, automechanicals in the HHC Early Retirement Center were not constructed with a standard maintenance mode or IFF transmitter responder. You'll be pleased to know that this saved 200 bits per unit. Well, hot damn. But please note that any injuries sustained during routine repairs will come out of your paycheck. Thanks for being part of the UDL team. Now, you could sneak around to this terminal and disable the robots that we fought. But where's the fun in that? Oh, hi, Vicar.
Unexpected sweeping action is not
wow, nice work.
What do you think you're doing? Suspicion levels minimal.
Carrying on, aye, sir. Funny thing about it is, I only vaguely remember visiting this area before. And it has been quite a while. Got myself into a pickle of my own making, but I think I can get out of it.
Processing. Halt. Beginning.
Here they come!
Of course I am. I got it.
That's the last of them.
An ionized paper knife. Well, there's absolutely nothing in here. Just a hole in the wall. That's all right.
Down! Our victory is their defeat.
Now, under normal circumstances, this would be the route that you would have taken to slip into the Arcology District when you were going to raid Chairman Rockwell's office in the HHC building. But since we talked our way past it, we did not have to come this way. But now we're poking around down here anyway, because just like everything else, why the hell not? Excuse me, Victor. Sprat infestation. Okay. Nothing else of interest here. That goes back the way we just came from.
Nice hit! All the sprats I ever saw? That one had to be the third biggest.
Now,
You're an artist, Captain.
well, thank you, Vicar. I appreciate it. Now,
impressive as always.
This lift will take you back up to the Acropolis district, but we're going to go back around the long way to Prosperity Plaza now that we've cleaned this place out. There are, I think, 2 or 3 actual entrances to the maintenance tunnels. There's one in Prosperity Plaza near the House of Inebriation. Oh, I missed a mag pick. Yeah. We're going up that way. This one, if I remember correctly, comes out near the House of Inebriation. I think that's what I was about to say. But, if you didn't want to try and talk or bribe your way past the security outside the Acropolis, you would come this direction. Which normally I do, but on this particular playthrough, doing things just a little bit differently doesn't hurt anything. Come on, Max. Stretch yourself through the door there. That Sprat's asleep. Nothing over there. Alright. Now I think this cat...
Oh! What are you doing here?
Offers a quest. Let's find out.
Nothing. Nothing. Why? Does it look like I'm up to something?
Vaguely.
Laws, I knew it! You got me. I'm caught, aren't I? I work in the lab at the Ministry of Accuracy and Morale. Some of my sprats went missing, but it's not my fault, okay? Maybe I let them out more often than regulations allow, but they need to stretch their little legs. And so what if I occasionally forgot to latch their cage? Everyone gets a little distracted now and then. They escaped, and before I could coax them back, they'd made their way to the maintenance tunnels. Even if I did dare go down there, they're among all the common sewer sprats and exterminator mechanicals. Really? In that case, take this collection crate. 6 of my little ones are down there, but don't worry, you can easily tell them apart from common sewer sprats. They have intelligent eyes, an agreeable yet reserved demeanor, and a fondness for hiding. Also, they're white rather than green. Please, do take care, and do mind the exterminator mechanicals. If the worst should happen to my little darlings, well, I still want their bodies. For science, of course.
Alright. Let's go save those sprats. I don't know how many of them are still alive, but we'll go back looking for them. And the auto mechanicals are dead now, or destroyed, or disabled, or whatever you want to call it, so... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, here's one of them right here. 1. Come here, you. 2. Where'd that other one go? I know there was one hiding in here. 3. 4. And no, these lab sprats do not, wait a minute. How is one still back here? No, these lab sprats do not spawn until you take that quest. So, you can't preemptively nab. Oh, that's right. The one laying asleep on the side of this generator. Okay, yeah. Come here, little one. One more. overlooked a mag pick. Now this time we will take the lift up through the archaeology district. I'm not going to go all the way back to the other end. And we can go see Hortense quickly, and then go back to our scientist acquaintance. Oh, there, right there.
Oh, there. That's one right there. Can't you just see the stench of impropriety radiating off of him?
Shut up.
I must admit, I'm getting a certain thrill out of our little arrangement. If this goes well, perhaps I'll start hiring wandering delinquents to handle all of my affairs. It is going well, I hope. What? You mean it's just a sham they perpetuate so
Brace
they can
yourself.
dispose of the rabble? That's brilliant. To take the most burdensome members of our society and simply remove them. Oh, I'll never doubt the wisdom of the board again. Why, I had no reason to be envious at all. What a relief. Just as any professional should be, even if your profession is violently inclined vagrant. Now then, to the matter of your fee. Of course, as we agreed. I'm not one to break a contract.
No, don't do that.
In any event, while I'm deeply grateful for the peace of mind you've brought me, I will need some solitude to fully bask in it. So if there's nothing further...
Goodbye. Oh, hey. I will take a modest hit in reputation with the board. Let's see here. Let's see here. Where was that one? Give him that. All right, now let's go back to the sprat-loving scientist fellow and let him know we have his sprats. Isn't it exciting? Oh, the point of interest. A vending machine. Okay. Aldo Vicente Marina Bekeshko and Thomas B. Henry. All right. Giles?
Any luck finding my sprats? Truly? Why, this is marvelous! Oh, dear, it looks like some of my darlings have suffered violent misfortune. Nevertheless, it's good to have them back. Thank you for your help. I'm afraid I can't spare much, but I hope you'll accept this. Now, I've got to get back to the lab before my supervisor logs my absence.
Right.
Out with it, you wretched contraption! Does nothing in this city work anymore!
Alright, now let's go pay a visit to...
I believe I hear Felix and Parvati discussing the latest Aetherwave serial.
Oh, that's good.
We are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain.
We already were. Oh, Felix is gonna love this.
Not so fast. All right, you're clear. The adjutant's expecting you. Go on through.
Well, thank you. That's very gracious of you. This should be an interesting conversation. I say that. Felix is liable to have a conniption.
I admit part of me expected you to stand by your old friend. For better or worse, Wells was responsible for putting you back on your feet.
You expected correctly.
That said, he's also a wanted criminal. For information regarding his whereabouts, you are entitled to collect a reward from Percival. I understand you've infiltrated the Ministry. The things you discovered there must have been shocking, even disturbing. Halcyon is on the verge of a total systems collapse. The truth is ugly and difficult to accept, but we must accept the truth before we can move forward. Malnutrition is already a problem. Disease will come next, followed by starvation, followed by a breakdown of society, followed by extinction. I know this must come as a surprise to you.
Not really.
You have questions.
So that's your solution? The whole colony on ice? People ain't gonna stand for this. We'll fight back. We'll tear down the walls of Byzantium.
No, Mr. Millstone, you will not. The workers of Halcyon will do exactly as they are told, as they always have. Your dreams of a people's revolution are the juvenile fantasies of a frustrated child.
The powerful make the mistakes, and the powerless are left paying the price, as it has always been. Tell me, Adjutant, have you anything to offer beyond the usual false platitudes?
I'm offering decisive action, Vicar DeSoto. I can no longer depend on lazy, weak-willed bureaucrats to help me rescue Halcyon. I need someone with a backbone, someone like your captain.
Oh, I see where this is
going.
going.
I won't pretend the truth isn't damning. Yes, the colony is on the verge of collapse, but there is a way to save it. I'll answer however I can. The Lifetime Employment Program is not some malevolent strategy of an evil mastermind. There's no dark secret buried in the fine print. The program is logical, It's reasonable, it's merciful, and most importantly, it will work.
Not according to the research data that I saw in the ministry, it won't. I'm not sure. She's probably already aware of Dr. Wells' plan, but let's see what she says to this.
Byzantium is the beating heart of our colony. And as long as Byzantium survives, Halcyon may one day recover from the collapse. We must protect this city at any cost. Help me execute the lifetime employment program, and you will have earned a place of honor in Byzantium. You will live in comfort and want for nothing.
You've got to be kidding me.
We've already crossed the point of no return. The collapse has already begun. You must have noticed the signs in Emerald Vale. Malnutrition, disease, high mortality rates. This is a permanent famine, Captain. We've done all we can to curb their hunger. Very soon, people are going to realize they're starving. A famine is a problem of logistics as well as marketing. Your workers must remain productive on as little food as possible, and they must always believe that food is plentiful. I'm sure you remember Dr. Anton Crane. His research was instrumental in developing a powerful appetite suppressant. The solution is a temporary one. Before long, our workers are going to feel the effects of starvation. The Lifetime Employment Program is our only viable option. When I first discovered the truth, I was shocked, even disgusted. I wondered how we'd allowed a colony like Halcyon to fall into disarray. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized the colony had sown the seeds of its own destruction. We have become lazy and decadent. We smother ourselves in meaningless bureaucracies. We deliberate and argue and procrastinate. I admit, I occasionally fantasize about making an executive decision without having some tedious committee questioning my every move. Do you have any idea how much paperwork is involved in ordering someone's execution through the usual channels? It's positively maddening. We need to talk about Emerald Vale. I will be frank, Edgewater was a lost cause. I never expected the settlement to survive another year. But then, you came along. I don't know how you managed to convince a faction of disloyal workers to return to their posts. In fact, Edgewater is more productive than ever before. Every worker in Edgewater will be expedited into our lifetime employment program. Well done, Captain. That town owes you an enormous debt. Edgewater's workers have proven themselves valuable. When the time comes to place our most loyal workers in suspended animation, they're going to be the first in line. You should be proud of yourself, Captain. You're on the verge of making history. There's just one last job I need you to do for me. I've made arrangements for you to journey to the Hope. You will board your former colony ship, reactivate its navigation systems, and skip the colony ship into orbit around Tartarus. Once the Hope is in position, we will have everything we need to begin healing the colony.
Now this goes back to what Phineas told us when we met with him previously. The board versus Phineas have two different plans for what to do with the Hope. Now in Phineas's plan, he uses the chemicals that we retrieved from the Ministry of Accuracy and Morale to gradually revive the colonists, among whom he said some of the best minds Earth ever sent out into space are still in suspended animation. And together they would work to solve Halcyon's problems. It wouldn't be easy. He's been very upfront about that from the beginning. But it would be much better than doing what the board wants to do, which is they skip the Hope to Tartarus, which is near the heart of the system. It's one of the inner planets. They remove all of the people on board the Hope. I don't know what they do with their frozen bodies, but I'm sure it's not going to be ideal for them. It's probably going to be disposal, for lack of a more elegant phrase. And then they use the ship's cryogenic facilities to freeze all of the colonists in Halcyon and bring them out of suspended animation as they need them, only to return them to suspended animation when they are done with them until they need them again. So, let's see. But let's hear it from her own mouth. Let's see what the adjutant says of this in her words.
Technology, Captain. The same technology that allowed you and your fellow colonists to make the journey from Earth to Halcyon. Under the Lifetime Employment Program, every suitable worker in Halcyon will be placed in suspended animation. The Hope is the perfect storage facility for the colony's workers.
And let's hear this in her own words.
I won't lie to you. We're going to have to dispose of some of the Hope settlers in order to make room for Halcyon's rotating workforce. But try to understand, many of your fellow settlers are beyond saving. They've been frozen for far too long, and the revival process would be lethal.
And why Tartarus, exactly?
Convenience. The Hope is a massive ship and we'll need to make use of it. Our facilities in Tartarus will benefit from having the ship within orbit. You've proven yourself more than capable. I don't know if there's anyone better suited to this mission than you. Give yourself some credit, Captain. You've come this far without dying in some senseless accident. Clearly, the Architect has a plan for you.
So let's hear her explicit instructions on how exactly to do this.
The Hope has been out of commission for years. You'll need to connect your own ship to the Hope's auxiliary power supply. Then make your way to the Hope's bridge. Your ship's computer will activate the Hope's skip drive and bring you into orbit around Tartarus. I have the highest faith in your abilities, Captain.
I'm sure you do.
You and I are going to save Halcyon together.
I got a real problem with this.
I did not see that coming. All right, Felix, come on. Come over here.
Here's what I don't understand. The Hope. Big damn colony ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lost on the edge of space. Hundreds of thousands of colonists floating out there just waiting for a savior.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just gonna deliver them into the hands of the board?
Felix, if you know anything about me, you ought to know by now that I'm not going to do anything that benefits the board.
Come on, boss. Nothing good ever came out of thinking things through. It's just wrong. The board's already got a stranglehold on the entire colony. You're about to give them another ship full of slaves.
All right, tone down the revolutionary rhetoric for a few seconds, Felix, and think about this right here.
I don't know what to think. It's not that I don't trust you. I don't trust the board. And right now, it's like the board's inside your head.
Literally, what did you tell me just a minute ago about overthinking things, Felix? Somehow, this boy thinks that every single time I have a conversation with any member of any group or agency or ministry or department or bureau or office or whatever, or any kind that has even the slightest sliver of a relationship with the board, that conversation does not end in indiscriminate gunfire and explosions, that somehow the board has gotten itself into my head. Felix.
Then I guess we got nothing more to say to each other.
You'll find out. You will find out, my friend. I mean, I appreciate the zealous nature of Felix's view that something drastic needs to be done to try to save the colony. But I'm going with Phineas's plan, not Sophia Akande's plan, whatever Felix might think. And yeah.
Captain, Felix and the Vicar are arguing again.
Let them argue. Alright, folks, here we go. We are headed to the Hope.
We have arrived at the Hope. I need you to reroute power from our ship to the Hope's auxiliary generator. You'll have to connect me to the Hope's comm system so I can convince her central computer to enable the skip drive.
Alright.
If your calculations are even slightly off, you could crash the entire colony ship into Terra 2. Or the Sun.
That's all for now.
Sending a corrupted tracking signal to the board was quite clever, if I might say, Captain.
Don't congratulate me, it was Phineas's idea. I wasn't going to send the signal at all. But then again, the board's inside my head, according to Felix. Felix, I like you, buddy. But I'm going to box your ears one of these days if you keep insinuating that I'm in the in the board's pocket when I'm not. I said I would hear the adjutant out. I did not say I would do what she wants. There is a distinction. Oh look, woolly milk and perfecto. Now somewhere in the mess of all of this there is, let me see if I can find it. There it is. What's this? Engineer's log number CE-17. This whole starving to death thing isn't all it's cracked up to be. On the upside, the bathrooms are the cleanest they've been since we left port. It's made my job a hell of a lot easier. Thurston Stallworth, custodial engineer, license number 3464-8432. Right. Who the hell is that?
Welcome aboard, Captain. Ms. Akande messaged ahead. I wish this place were in better condition for you, but we're in a bit of a bind. Seems the damn auto mechanicals think we're intruders. Do I look like an engineer? Alls I know is, they're shooting anyone who ain't Hope Crew. We shut off the main power, so they're disabled for now. If you go hooking your ship up, I suspect they'll recharge. And that means trigger-happy auto mechanicals. I'm not going to get in your way, but I'm also not going to send more of my staff to their deaths. We tried that. Didn't work. Something about her face is not matching up. We stored what cards we could find in the badge station to my right, but it's locked off. Can't just hand over Hope property. Sorry. I'd heard rumors, but I never thought. So you're, what, 70-something years old?
Thereabouts.
Whew. All right. I'll have someone open the door for you. Good luck.
Funny thing is, he's opening a door for me. I think that's already been opened, but we're not gonna worry too much about that. Let's see what we've got here. Hunt D. Darling, I've just had a frightening epiphany. What's wrong? I've just realized that we'll be nearing our 50s when we arrive in Halcyon. Yes, but our Lucas, when they wake him up, he'll still be 6. By the time he's out of schooling, we'll be nearly 60. I feel as though time is being stolen from me. He'll work on the ship when he graduates. We'll see him again. I hope so, Will. F. Nolda and A. Volkov, you've You gotta help me, Alexei. I'm gonna go mental. What's the problem? It's the food. Our rations? Are you having digestion issues? No, I hate Borst, Doctor. I hate it. I can't spend the next 10 years eating it. I thought you had an actual medical problem, Frank. Yeah, I do. It's disgusting. Get back to your post. You're wasting my time. Come on, there's got to be something you can prescribe. You'll get used to it or you'll starve. Up to you. Yeah, real compassionate. But what else would we expect? That door is out of commission. Alright, now we need to get to the shit. Let's go up and over. Can't hack that door.
Processing cable. Breach detected. This is error. Hope crew data not found. Identify yourself. Error. Paradox protection protocols have prevented me from registering your stated identification. Please report to your nearest mechanical engineer. Error. Paradox prevention has temporarily disabled this unit's auditory processing. Thank you for your cooperation.
Much obliged. And there they are. $9,999 pods. Current status normal. Let's see, this right here is probably, yep, it's the one where Phineas pulled me out. And this right here is a statement that's been repeated multiple times.
Anyone who wants to scratch my name on one of those pods? Yeah, I figured.
It'll be alright. One way or another, it will be alright. Dear Diary, everyone is running around trying to figure out how we're going to eat, but none of it means anything if I can't keep us on course. It's hell. Charting 26 years of travel through space is, I don't know if I can handle it. It's so much pressure, so many lives. If I get one thing wrong, one smudged decimal point, one off by one miscalculation, we could crash into an asteroid. I keep thinking of the colonists. They just never wake up. Lucky them. And that's a discussion about ration shortages. Perhaps there is hope yet. Mama used to have such a garden. I grew up on her tomatoes and lemons and limes. Sliced tomatoes sound really good. When we left Earth, she was so kind as to share a sample of seeds with me so that wherever we end up, I might start my own garden. Now, buds grow in hydroponics. This may not be a backyard, but it is something. I remember you every day, Mamochka. Now more than ever. Whoops. Don't know what that is about. And there's another discussion about not eating enough. I already have one key card for the Hope's Bridge. Alright, so we need to go back around.
Records indicate you have already been identified as non-standard personnel.
This should be
State
fun.
your purpose.
Start jabbering at it in binary.
Error. Binary detected. Binary has been deprecated since the invention of Anti-Cleo's patented Tripanary language. Tripanary. More bits for your bits.
Ah, Jesus.
We appreciate your cooperation. Have a pleasant day.
Okay. Man. I thought Anti-Cleo was supposed to be better than nature. And yet here we are, talking about them inventing a whole new computing language. Let's see here. Alright. We have power available on the following auxiliary mode. Maintenance. Oh, Jesus. Engines, 22,056 days overdue. Janitorial, 22,175 days overdue. Macrowave short-circuited after some idiot left his fork on his plate. Macrowave clock has stopped. Macrowave is stuck on high power mode. Macrowave has stopped working entirely.
We're not exploding, so I guess it worked.
Yeah, so far so good. But the board's in my head, right, Alex? Or Alex, shit. Felix. I love you, Felix. I'm sorry, buddy. Alright, now we'll go back and get the comms online. If that auto-mechanical starts giving me aggro, I'll just start jabbering at it in binary again.
Can you hear me, Captain? I have successfully integrated myself into the Hope's comm systems, and am attempting to establish contact with the Hope's more primitive processor now. Would you like me to play a mood-suitable music selection while you travel to the bridge? Oh, sorry. File not found.
Oh, man. All right, the bridge is straight ahead.
That's the Hope's computer up ahead. I'll admit, I am curious to wake him.
Oh, this is a scenic view. Comms are now available through the docking bay. Let's patch Ada in. Ada. Ada.
Greetings, Captain. I am speaking to you through the Hope's computer system. It's a rather cramped feeling, but it'll do.
All right.
Certainly. You may skip the Hope to Tartarus, as you were instructed to by the adjutant. Doing so would bring the Hope within close proximity of Phineas Wells's orbital lab, allowing him to access the colonists frozen within. Your act would be immediately noticed across Terra 2, as the colony ship Hope abruptly enters into the planet's rings. Are you sure? That is extremely dangerous. Skipping the Hope will void the warranty on the skip drive. And also potentially kill an entire planet. How is my humor now, Captain? Improved?
God damn.
Jump-starting the skip drive. Destination set to the rings of Terra 2.
Well, it's been a good life.
It has.
Doing it. I mean, affirmative.
Doing.
Skipping the Hope
Doing
in
it.
3,
Do it.
2,
Do it.
1.
ADA, does your captain seriously intend to do a micro-jump in system with engines that haven't been powered in 70 years on a derelict ship
That is what my captain intends, yes.
But that is a gross misuse of the skip drive. The Zero Point Drives Corp and I will not be held responsible for any damage incurred during transport. And this will cause extreme damage.
Yes, I am aware of that.
You should not be doing this. The humans will die.
Thank you, Hope. It looks like all systems are go. Captain, I would advise you to hold on to something. Now.
And here we go. Skip jump in X seconds. Whee! By the way, you can jump the ship yourself, but if I'm not mistaken, unless you have an absolutely perfect 100 in engineering, you will accidentally fly the ship into the sun.
Good. We are still alive and have successfully skipped into Terra 2's orbit. I reported as much to Phineas Wells, but he has not responded. Perhaps you should check in on him.
That's because the board found him.
We're alive! We made it! I, never had any doubts.
Some people said the Hope was just a fable. Here we are.
All right, then.
Remember not to take breaks on
Felix, you're awfully quiet for someone who thought I was going to grass up the... Not only did I not grass Phineas up to the board, despite the fact that the magnificent Sophia Akande no doubt wanted me to.
That's what it's done for! Here they come! Let them have it!
Should we assign Sam for a cleanup?
Probably wouldn't be a bad
Something out of
idea.
that one horror serial. What was it called? Oh, yeah. Slaughter Island.
Cute. Well, this place has definitely seen better days. But maybe just enough of these people are still alive that Phineas can help them. What's this? Oh. I've already got one of those. But yeah, Felix seemed to want to convince himself that somehow the board had gotten into my head and that I was going to sell out the colonists on the Hope to the board. Just like, you know, I was going to willingly grass Phineas up to the board without some kind of wrinkle being put in there that would be of net benefit for what Phineas was trying to do. I wasn't going to send the signal on Phineas's terminal, and then Phineas said, well, send a corrupted signal. Okay. But yeah. Notice Felix is not saying anything, despite the fact that I literally just jumped the ship to Terra 2 and not to Tartarus. But that's okay. I will take his silence as meaning he realizes he judged incorrectly, and while he probably feels bad about it, he doesn't want to risk upsetting either of us by hashing it out any more than it already has been.
Captain, I am receiving a transmission from Dr. Wells. The transmission is marked with priority status urgent!
Oh dear. Alright then, give me just a moment, Ada, and I will... or ADA, as the Hope calls her. And I will see to listening to it.
Captain, I shall now play the transmission I received from Dr. Wells.
Go ahead.
Thank the Lord you warned me.
I was able to get some defenses up, but they might not be enough. The board has sent some serious firepower to pry me out of here. They're trying to get in here, and I'm not sure I can stop them. If they capture me, if we can't communicate again, there's something very important you need to remember.
Well, spit it out, man.
The board, all their lackeys, they're all a bunch of swine. Do you hear me? They're fucking corporate swine. You fucking pigs! I'll take you all out with me! I'll never...
It would seem the recording captured some rather dire events. I presume you'll want to dock at the orbital lab to check on your associate as soon as possible. How can I be of assistance?
You assumed correctly, Ada.
I'll be here.
Thank you. Alright. Let's go see what kind of mess they left behind.
We've arrived at Phineas's orbital lab.
But no, the board would have known that I stabbed them in the back the minute the Hope appeared above Terra 2. You can't hide a ship that big. But Universal Defense Logistics official arrest receipt. As per official arrest protocol outlined in Defense Logistic Incarceration Document Alpha 43.21-6, the individual who has been detained at this location must appear in an official Halcyon court at the appointed date and time with this paperwork in order to register that they are indeed properly arrested for crimes listed under their name. Failure to appear at the appointed date and time with this paperwork will result in additional late fees and the rescheduling of the prisoner's appointed incarceration registration date. Failure to appear at subsequent court dates may incur additional fees. Halcyon Court is not responsible for missed appointments that are a consequence of being held within a locked cell or other high-security containment location. Please note that this is the only copy of this receipt that you will receive, and that it is your responsibility to have it with you when you appear for your registration session. Even arrests are bureaucratized.
Oh, that's the last of him. And that was what Phineas meant when he said that all the corporate board lackey types were swine. You'll find my passcode on the corpse of one of the cystipigs. Finn's Force. That's nice. What do we got here? Ooh. Well, that is most definitely nice. And guess what? Even though it's only 1 point higher, we are going to take it anyway. Yes, I'm going to hack Phineas's crate.
You're a deft hand with a magpick.
Thank you. Well, all things considered, while the rest of the facility is kind of a dingy, cluttered mess, at least Phineas has reasonable accommodation. Even if he does need to scrub the floors very, very badly. Alright. Contingency plan activated. Publishing last will and testament. Success. Please present login password to continue. If you are seeing this screen, I, Phineas V. Wells, have been perniciously kidnapped and very possibly incarcerated by the perfidious and cowardly government of Halcyon in the prison fortress of Tartarus. If I have not already been executed for charges leveled against me, I hope the person reading this terminal will find a way to finish my work or rescue me, preferably the latter. This screen constitutes my last will and testament. I commend my body and my belongings to the icy depths of the ether. If this is Drax, I've prepared an emergency care package located in a hidden panel. Unlock the panel from my terminal and claim its contents immediately. I'm going to be a little nosy here. First entry. The Hope made it to Halcyon after all, 25 years too late. The board doesn't know what to do with an entire ship full of frozen colonists, so naturally they're going to leave them there. Corporate tells us revival is impossible. They've tried absolutely nothing, and apparently they're all out of options. Balderdash. Cellular regeneration after long-term hibernation is really just a question of thermodynamics. I'm quite confident I can find a way to revive the Hope's colonists if only corporate would authorize my requests. Frankly, I don't see why I need the permission of my employers to conduct experiments in the name of scientific advancement. What nonsense! Did Newton beg permission from his employers before discovering the 3 laws of motion? Genius is not beholden to the vicissitudes of bureaucracy. Besides, the Hope has a cargo of hundreds of thousands of colonists. The board practically expects a few to go missing. Second entry. 113 seconds. New record. Most of my subjects last 93 seconds, on average, before total cellular liquefaction reduces them to several gallons of organic soup 3 degrees above freezing temperature. Ugh. 113 seconds of screaming. This subject was stronger than the others, but in the end his body failed to survive the revival process. He was my 12th subject to die. I don't know how much longer I can keep doing this. Strictly speaking, I do know. The Hope has hundreds of thousands of colonists. I've only experimented on 12. How many more experiments before I successfully revive a single subject? 1, 10, 100, 500? Statistically insignificant. If I experimented on one subject every month, I would not make a dent in the Hope's population in a lifetime. Can still hear the screaming. Trouble sleeping. Trouble concentrating. Psychological toll significant. On to subject number 13. Final entry. I always suspected this would happen. The board finally discovered what I'd done and sent their headhunters to track me down, but they'll never find me. They say I'm a murderer, and they're right. I am. I regret what I've done, but I'm not about to turn myself in to the board. I'm not going to go begging the board's forgiveness. Only the Hope's colonists can forgive me for what I've done. They're the only people who can set things right, and I'm going to find a way to revive them, no matter how long I have to stay in hiding. I've got my notes with me, I have my equipment, and now I have this lab. It's time I returned to work. Alright. Now, let's open Phineas's top secret panel within his top secret lab. Ah. A nav key to Tartarus. That will be the last great leg of this journey. Phineas has been captured and brought to the prison planet of Tartarus, where the board intends to interrogate him. Now it's up to you to infiltrate the prison and rescue Phineas before the board can enact its plan to cull Halcyon's population. Mission to Tartarus,
I
indeed.
believe I hear Felix and Parvati discussing the latest Aetherwave serial.
I'm sure you do. They do that quite frequently. Anything needing repair? No? Okay. So we will go to Tartarus to save Dr. Vernon, or Phineas Vernon Wells, Phineas V. Wells, in the next leg of our journey. Always save the best for last, huh? Well, that is going to do it for this episode, folks. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I will see you in our next episode. Cheers.